cinnamon bun. It's been a while. Why can I never stop myself from saying that? It's been a while. It has though this time, because I wanted to get this video out weeks ago. But as always, life has conspired, so here we are. Anyway, sorry, I wanted to tell you about this fancy tea setup that I've got for today. I'm using this nice fancy T2 loose leaf tea, banana bake from their Baxter's Bakery set, which I think is like an Easter thing, so you might not be able to get it anymore, but I don't know, I really like T2 as a company. It's not sponsored or anything, I just like their stuff. And I also got this fancy little infuser that you can see, this like gold one that like sits in the mug. I got that from T2 as well. And you guys, there is a bit of a story because I did go very overboard. So I don't drink a lot of loose leaf tea, or I do, but like most of the time I do use tea bags because it is just easier. But I do have one of these like, you know, sit in the mug kind of infusers with a specific mug set, which I really liked because it's just easier than those little finicky ones, you know, that are like a little infuser ball or whatever that has a chain. I just find those are so small and so hard to empty that I really like how simple the big ones are, and it's just kind of easier than doing like a teapot, and you can do it for one instead of like multiple people. So I really like that, and so I've been thinking about getting another one for a while so that I could do loose leaf more often. And then I saw these. So this gold one is absolutely beautiful, but I also got another one, and there's a bit of a story behind it. It's very nerdy. So one of my favorite stories, actual play things of all time is Dimension 20's The Unsleeping City. It's a D&D show set in like magical New York, and they have this whole, I guess, like magic system or kind of world building concept of the waking world and the dreaming. And the waking world being kind of like reality and groundedness and community, and it has this kind of gold light city vibes. And then the dreaming being all about like dreams and visions and sleep and nightlife and wacky stuff and magic and whimsy, and that's all kind of like purples and night skies and all of that. And I just love the imagery, and I love that kind of system. And yes, they did happen to have a gold set and also a purple kind of iridescent set for these like tea infusers. So I did get one of each, and I did get fancy matching teaspoons, and it was quite a lot of money, and I do not regret it. So yes, hi, hello, welcome to another cyclical, witchy bullet journal setup. As always, my disclaimer, I'm not going to go through the actual kind of functional planning process much in this video because it's the same thing that I always do. So if you're interested in the step-by-step of what exactly I'm doing and why, go and check out the early autumn in my bullet journal video. I will link it below as well. But otherwise, we're just going to have a chill time. I'm going to set up my journal. I'm just going to chat. I'm just going to give you my chat. So, guess who, say it with me, got ill again. I'm so sick of starting every video this way. I'm not going to get into the details of it because it's just it's just fucking boring to talk about, and I'm sick of having to say the same things over and over again. But like, part of what I do in my bullet journal videos is just update you on what's going on, and this is what's been going on. I got fucking COVID. Me and Pete both got it at the same time, and I finally tested positive, so it was shit. Had to self-isolate for the full 10 days, and I still have a bit of a cough and a sniffle, but otherwise basically fine now, so that's something. And we got to spend a few days together just being miserable and playing Stardew Valley, so better than some of the times I've been ill, but still being ill, and it's frustrating. So I filmed this setup before that, which is why I filmed this kind of at the start of April, at the start of my cycle, and as I'm recording this voiceover, it's basically the end of April. So that's that. Like I say, I don't want to get too much into the details, but honestly, mostly this year, so this is my 4th time being sick this year, and we're only in the 4th month. I got sick 3 times in January and February, and then I had March off from being sick, and then in April I got sick again. So I've just had shit luck. I just keep getting bugs and COVID and all sorts. So to be honest, most of this year so far has felt like me making my little plans, setting up my little chessboard for the month, and then the universe just flipping the table on me and being like, fuck you. So I'm trying to just be patient where I can, when I've had to be, and just get on with things and not beat myself up too much about not being able to do the things that I want to do. So yeah. So most of my chat in the last month, to be honest, has not been, here's what I've been doing, it's here are the games that I've been playing and all the things that I've been watching, because I've not really been up to much else. I did actually start Escapril in April, which is like a daily poetry challenge where you try and write a new poem for every day in April and post them online. It's hosted on Instagram, so I had this big hum-haw if I wanted to do that, because I'm thinking of leaving Instagram soon altogether, but I figured I might as well give that one try before I leave Instagram perhaps forever. So yeah, I got I think 11 days in, and I wrote a poem every day, and I posted either the entire poem or a fragment of it every day for all of that, and then I got COVID. So I had to stop because the brain fog was just unreal, and it was kind of interesting to be like, can I write a poem every day? What the fuck? Do I have enough material to draw on to do that? Can I work at that pace? And I was finding that I could until I got ill, but there's kind of twofold things with that, because obviously the brain fog with COVID is just fucking shit, and I basically couldn't work because of that. But then also, when I have written poems, it tends to come from experiences and little fragments that I've written down in my what I call my commonplace book, which is just a notes app of ideas on my phone. And when I'm not having any new experiences or doing anything out in the world or observing anything, I basically don't really have anything to draw on. And I'd already kind of, used a lot of my built up material for those first 11 days. So I just had to stop, which I was kind of okay with, because I said up front when I started the challenge, I was like, look, I'm going to try this. If it's not the right format for me, if I don't like it, I'm going to quit. It's an experiment, not an obligation. So yeah, unfortunately I did have to quit after day 11. But if you're interested in seeing some poetry from me, you can go to my Instagram and check that out for now while it's still there. But yeah. So yeah, some of the things that I have been doing while I've been ill, I started watching A Starstruck Odyssey, which is I believe the current season of Dimension 20, which is like a big space opera thing. That's been really fun. I've tanned a lot of that, like in days where I was just stuck in bed all day, basically. And I also have been playing Horizon Forbidden West, which I was super hype about because I absolutely adore Horizon Zero Dawn. But I'm playing that with my little brother because basically we played Horizon Zero Dawn together at mine during lockdown and stuff, when like he was basically the only person that I could have over to my house as my extended household. And so we'd have these games days where we'd just spend the entire day playing video games, and we played all of Horizon Zero Dawn that way. And so when we finished it, we were like, okay, when Forbidden West comes out, we're going to play that together as well. So that's been really fun, but it also means obviously that I'm only getting to play like one day of it, like every few weeks, if that. Like forcing myself not to play it when he's not here is tough because it's really fun. And I obviously want to find out what happens and stuff. But I also really enjoy the experience of playing like a big like open world RPG type game like that with another person. I've always liked doing that. So that's been cool. Been getting real back into Stardew Valley because Pete's been playing it for ages. I think he's almost on year 3 with his farm, and then I got past year 3 on my old one, which I lost my save of back in my last breakup, so I hadn't started another one since then, and I have finally started it again, and it's just a delight. Stardew Valley, if you're not familiar, is basically, it's like it sounds really reductive, but it's a farming game, but it's also so much more than that. And as someone who is, basically, you're a little farmer and you get to build out your farm and you can kind of go in like a million different directions with it. In my last one, I basically ended up having a farm that was almost entirely just coffee beans, kegs to turn it into coffee, and then animals, and that was everything. Yeah, but it's also like, it's a management game, right? And it has some, what feels to me like some quite unique mechanics in terms of like, you have finite energy per day, you have this finite energy bar, and at the end of each day you have to go to sleep. So you have finite time each day, and then there's like 28 days to a season, and obviously in farming, like you've got different crops for each season, and there's different prep that you have to do for the transition of the different seasons, and in winter you have to figure out other things to do because you can't farm anymore. And obviously, as someone who's obsessed with cycles and seasons, like I just find it fascinating, and it's almost like a cool way to like get your head around aligning more with seasons in real life, because it kind of like mechanicifies, that's not a word, like turning it into a game is just cool and interesting, and it makes me think about how I align with seasons and stuff in real life. So yeah, been getting big into Stardew Valley again, which has been really nice and relaxing. Although Pete takes the piss out of me because I do have like a little list that I keep for my Stardew Valley. Listen, when I played it the first time, I was like on the farm planner website where you can like map out exactly square by square like how you're gonna lay out your crops and your sprinkler system and how many scarecrows to put per tile and all of that, and I've not gotten as crazy as that this time, but I do have a quick running list of like, this is the next thing that I'm trying to craft or buy, because honestly I forget, and Pete thinks that's hilarious. So yeah, so that's been really nice. We did have a day when we were both ill that we actually just sat next to each other, each with our Switches, playing Stardew Valley all day. So yeah, that's been nice. Yeah, that's kind of it. The only other thing really is that we have finally opened the Story Magic Academy. The Story Toolkit workshop is also in full swing. So that's going on at the moment, and obviously I've had work to do for that. So I think I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the credits. I guess the other thing is I've also been reading a book. Holy shit. I've been reading this book called Spring Cannot Be Cancelled, which is like conversations between this artist called David Hockney and a friend of his. Seems like he's a massive deal in the art world. I was not familiar with him because I don't really know anything about the art world, like in that bigger, larger, fancier sense. But that's been really interesting. So it's kind of conversations about art and creativity and his life in living in Normandy in France, especially over the pandemic and stuff. So that's been cool. It's a bit out of my wheelhouse, like I say, in that I don't really know a lot of like big fancy art stuff. So it's a kind of like, it's a very different perspective, which is nice. And it's obviously it's a nice thing to read in spring and to just be able to pick up and like drop in and out of. Yeah.
Okay, this is my final spread for the month. Let's go through a little. So I picked this picture because it makes me think of writing, and I'm doing Escape Roll this month, which is a poetry challenge, so I'm writing a poem every day, and that just felt like a nice vibe. This is where I will write my intention / focus for the month. I've already decided that. I kind of clarified it and think about that when I'm doing my augury over my period. So it's already in my dailies. I just need to copy it into here so that I've got that reminder. And then I've got my monthly calendar, and this will be to record just like some basic domain symbols and then a couple of words of like what was the most notable thing that day, like how did I spend my time. Obviously it's not a lot of space, so it tends to be really just the most important things, but as that fills up, I do that every morning for the previous day, so as that fills up it shows me my progress as I move through the month, and then it also means at the end of the month I have a really nice bird's eye view overview that I can look at to like review and stuff and see how the month went. Then I have my lunar list, and this is basically my cyclical self-care list, I guess. So these are the things that I try to do that are like my basic self-care for the different phases of my cycle, my body cycle, and I just track where I am in that cycle here. And then this is my projects and quests for the month. So what am I actually doing and working on in my business and my creative practice and all of my other constellation domains. So I use what I call the constellation system to kind of like categorize my different tasks and projects. So there's 6 domains. The first one is Device, so that's like money, paid work, paying the bills, and that is basically my business for me. So I've got my little priority, vital quests and tasks and projects for that. General is creativity, making things, writing, making videos, all of that. Domum is home and kind of hearth and taking care of domestic and household things. Corporalis is body and health and taking care of my physical form. And Socialis is people and relationships and social stuff. And then there is the other one is Spiritus, which is mind, mental health, spirit, witchcraft, all of that. I don't have any main quests for that for this month, but then I do have side quests, and these are like this is the priority stuff, the stuff that I have to get done, the stuff that's necessary, and the things that I will be spending most of my energy on when I am feeling my most energetic in this kind of phase of the cycle. And then if I get that stuff done and I have time, then I can think about doing some of these side quests which aren't like super urgent, or you know, the world won't end if they don't get done. But if I have the time and energy and I want to, I don't know what to do with myself, then I can refer to this and be like, oh yeah, these are the other things that I can do. But these are like optional bonus. And I've also just marked them with their different domains. And some symbols just represent like different projects within those domains and stuff. So some of them are a bit more granular than just the 6 domains. So that is my setup for April. Or as I like to call it, high spring, the middle of spring, and then I will just be turning the page and starting my next daily log from here.
And welcome to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, the Story Magic Academy is open right now if you are watching this at time of release. So if you are a writer or a storyteller, that might be of interest to you. And so the Story Magic Academy, just briefly, is what I call a storywork course. It's not really about drafting and revising a story or a project, whatever form that takes. It's kind of pan-medium, so if you're writing a novel, if you're writing short stories or screenplays or whatever, it's foundational storytelling principles that apply across mediums. But it's not really what I would call like a drafting course. It doesn't teach you like how to write the words. It kind of covers everything except that. So there's a lot of like mental work that goes into writing, you know, figuring out characters and plot and conflict and theme and all of that stuff that you either try and work out in your head or you might brainstorm, but can be very overwhelming if you don't know where to start. So if that is an area of writing that you struggle with and you would like to improve, then definitely check out the Story Magic Academy. Like I said, we're open now for enrollment. We only open for like 1 week twice a year, and you can see all the details of that at rachelstephen.com/academy. And we have a lot of happy students, so feel free to join them. And very lastly, to reiterate on something I said last time, I'm thinking of moving away from social media altogether. By that I mean like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, I'm only on Instagram now anyway. Not YouTube. I'm definitely sticking on YouTube. I love making videos. That's not going to change. But I don't think I'm going to be on social media. I'm going to probably move away from that soon. So if you'd like to keep in touch with me, if you'd like to hear about new videos, and then also every time I release a new video, I do send out a little email just with like, hey, what's been going on? Here are some cool things that I have been looking at or reading recently. And of course, any updates about like any new free things or paid things that I'm doing. I share all that through my newsletter, and I've kind of given my newsletter a bit of a facelift and an upgrade to kind of just make it a bit more fun and cute, because I really like the idea of focusing more on that as like this one kind of channel for communication instead of trying to like update everyone in multiple different places all the time. So if you'd like to get updates from me and chat on what's been going on and what I'm offering, then do sign up for my newsletter, rachelstephen.com/newsletter, I want to say, but it will be on the screen. The correct one will definitely be on the screen. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're taking care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.